28 suspected illegal miners have resurfaced at the Sheba Gold Mine in Barberton, that's in Mpumalanga, bringing the total number of people who've resurfaced since last week to 546. Now, Pan African Resources, which owns that mine, apparently says they're working actively to tackle the ongoing problem of illegal mining, especially at the Sheba operation. For more on this, let's bring in the organization's Hethen Hira, who's head of investor relations and joins us now via our video link. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us. Let me just get a sense of how many people you reckon are underground, given the fact that we've now surpassed the 500 mark and still counting.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for the opportunity, Ayanda, for this update. As we are aware, we have done continual sweeps underground after the retrieval of the initial amount of close to 500. And what we are suspecting is that people are returning to the camps that we've cleared, maybe to get other equipment, or people are still entering, from the sites on the mountain, the inaccessible. The areas that where they're used to the access from, the abandoned areas. So it's just, the camps have been disbanded, but the few people that we're finding now are either accessed recently or, they are returning to get the equipment, but there are no huge numbers left underground. So the numbers that we are seeing now are the new entrants or what were left underground. So, that's the situation at the moment. We may find a few more, but, not in the hundreds.
Sure. Forgive me if this question sounds a bit rudimental, but for many people who are watching from the outside, it's a bit difficult to wrap their heads around how people are able to return underground, especially given how much attention this particular story has received over the past couple of days. What are the complexities associated with essentially preventing people from doing that so that at the very least issues to do with safety and security are taken care of?
Yeah, so the mine has, the formal access where our employees, security personnel go down. But, as I mentioned before, the area is very rugged. There's, over 100 years of legacy mining. There are adits and old shafts that, we cannot access or we do not know of. It's over 1,000 hectares of nature reserve. And it's impossible to find every adit and every entry point to the mine. And, although we have had success in closing a lot of these shafts and adits, there are still areas that people can access and go into. And that's been an ongoing initiative from the mine to close these points by either blasting them shut or finding them and barricading them. But, that people still access through those areas.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge that we're having on an ongoing basis.
In that context, what does a long-term solution look like?
Long-term, we want to ensure that, the mass exodus doesn't happen or entry into the mine. And that's why we joined forces with the National Police Service so that, the illegals are processed and they don't return as they have been in the past. And, the area has been known to some people. It's tempting for ex-workers who are familiar with the lie of the land to go and try and find areas where they are known to have small showings of gold. So, that's the challenge that we're going to have. We've got security patrols. We spent a lot of money on security to ensure that, we make it as difficult as possible for illegal miners to enter. Because at the end of the day, we'd like to protect our asset. We'd like to protect jobs for the communities, for sustaining operations into the future. That for a long term, they can create employment and create opportunities for the communities. And, if illegal mining continues, that will just, cause significant environmental damage, missed opportunities for communities. So it's in the best interest of everyone that mining continues sustainably without any illegal activities. And we've got a concerted effort, as we have in the past, to eradicate this and ensure that, for the safety of employees and everyone, even the illegal miners, to not enter these sites to cause, ground collapses and for the safety of everyone. So, yeah.
There's just so many, apologies for interrupting you there. There are just so many layers to this issue. I mean, on the one hand, we're dealing with human beings here who just don't disappear into thin air once they resurface. And given just how many there are, I don't see a scenario where they'll be able to be kept in police custody indefinitely. At some stage, there may very well be a scenario where people are released, may very well land up back in these communities, and will actually try again to continue with their illegal mining. I mean, what discussions are taking place in anticipation of that eventuality?
Well, we do have, as part of our mine engagement forums, we've got stakeholder engagement forums with local businesses, with the municipality, with local government, with the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. They've been kept aware of the situation. So it's a multi-pronged approach that we are trying to create also the awareness among communities to show, what would be the outcome if illegal mining was to pervade in the area. So it's more of an ongoing educational process, as well as enforcing the deterrent side of things, and also collaboration with the National Police Service. At the end of the day, it's also a national security issue to protect the country's assets as well.
Yeah, we're told a lot of these suspected zamazamas are not even from the country, so there's questions about our borders and how porous they are, which admittedly is outside of the ambit of the Pan-African resources. Have you been able to quantify the potential losses that you've incurred so far as a result of this ongoing activity, keeping in mind that it has been ongoing for a while now?
Yes, and that's exactly why, earlier this year we had to retrench about 271 people, even in this time of high gold prices. So, what our geologists and mining engineers tell us that, our life of mine plans that you should be getting, say, 1,000 ounces of gold from this operation a month, and you're only getting 500. That just shows, so we haven't, fully quantified the loss, but, I'm sure we can do these calculations. But the bottom line is that the mine is not profitable, and it's because of the mine plans not tying up with what is being produced. And that leads to losses, and that is why the retrenchments and loss of profits from the operation. Yeah,
gosh, so many cascading effects from what we are learning is taking place there. Hethen Hira, thanks very much indeed for your time. Hethen is the head of investor relations with Pan-African Resources. They, of course, own the Sheba Gold Mine in Barberton, where we're told just about 28 more suspected illegal miners have resurfaced, bringing to more than 540 the total number of people who've been arrested since they were being flushed out from, I think it was Friday last week. So if you're going through a moment of deja vu, you're forgiven. We've certainly had this discussion multiple times, and one can help but wonder what it will take to finally resolve this issue.